Hey everybody, Anthony Nitz here. I am doing a follow-up video to my previous video of how to pick the right geographic farm area for real estate agents. I put this video you see up here, I put that up a couple years ago, and I go into great detail about the ideas behind picking a farm area, and I'm not going to cover all those details here. So if you haven't seen this video, what I would suggest is at the end, go ahead and click on the link to watch this video, but only at the end of this video. I'll put it there, don't worry. You'll be able to see it and go check it out, because it'll give you a lot of good insights as to how to pick the right farm area. However, since I put this video up, there have been some pretty significant changes in the way that we can get the data that we need in order to develop this or find the right farm areas. Because basically the way that I describe it is downloading the data for an entire city, extracting out of the data those areas that have a high turnover over the last 12 months, compare it with data in the MLS where you see what or if there's any agents that have dominant market share, and then from there, make a decision of whether it's an area you want to farm or not. But I will tell you the biggest mistake that a lot of agents make, and I see it every single day, is that, they pick a farm area because, oh, this looks really nice. I'd love to farm in this neighborhood. Or, hey, it's the area that I live in, and so I'm going to farm in this area. And those are probably some of the worst reasons to pick a farm, because, my neighborhood is a perfect example of both. If somebody drove by my neighborhood, they would look at my neighborhood and the value of the homes, and they would say, oh, heck yeah, I'd like to sell houses in this neighborhood. But it's kind of a joke and not being crude, but the reality is the only time people move in this neighborhood is when an ambulance is taking them away. Literally, people die in this neighborhood before the house becomes available. And, so the turnover rate here is horrible. It's like, if it's 1%, I would be shocked, which is a terrible turnover rate. You need a higher turnover rate than that. Industry standards say in a normal market, 10% is considered normal. So then you translate that into whatever market we're in at the time that you're watching this video. Likewise, at the same time, I live in this neighborhood, so I could easily say, hey, I want to farm in this neighborhood. Well, guess what? If I did it, I'm going to get a horrible turnover rate. I've been here for 9 years. I sold one house in this neighborhood, but I don't specifically farm here. And I'm going to tell you, I think there's been 8 or 9 homes have sold here in 8 years or 8 or 9 years that I've been here. So very low turnover. So challenge that we face right now, though, with getting the data, and when you go back and watch this other video, you'll see what I'm talking about, is that with the SB 133 rules for title insurance companies and RESPA and all the what they can and can't do for agents anymore has, in a sense, gotten ridiculous to the point, from an agent perspective, because at one point in time, the data that I could collect from them would be extensive data. It would give me a lot of information about a particular area or a community or even a city or lots of other information. But they've been squeezed harder and harder and harder to prevent them from giving us data. And so the data that they're giving us now is really super limited. And you can see I've got almost 3,000 views on this video here, and I get a lot of calls. And this is why I'm doing this video, because I get a lot of calls that say, hey Anthony, you know what, I followed the instructions you gave us. I called the title rep, and the title rep told me, we can't do that, we can't give you that data. Or they give them data, but when they get the data, there's no way for you to extract out the information that you need, because the number of fields and the information in the fields is so limited. So it just makes it really difficult. And so I've actually searched for another solution. and hopefully an easier solution, because even my solution was a tough solution to do. You had to be kind of a quasi rocket surgeon to figure that out. Yes, I said rocket surgeon. But anybody could figure out if they just applied themselves, or they could have somebody else do the work for them. So I found another solution, and I think it's really, really super simple, and I'm going to share it with you now. And you may have heard of it, but I'm going to share it with you anyways. It's called Rebo Gateway. Now, look, I'm going to tell you that right off the bat, I am the first one to find free solutions to everything, and I still, leverage data and all that stuff out of MLSs and other sources that I have access to. But for the most part, most people aren't going to have, access to this data anymore, because we mostly got it from our title reps. So in Rebo Gateway, they actually have a tool where you can sign up, and it's called a tracked utility. I'm going to come back to this leads thing here in just a second, with this tracked utility to help you find the farm areas that are hot, that have a lot of turnover. And there's a cost for it, of course there is. And I'll be honest with you, I don't remember exactly what the cost is right now. I've had it for a while. I want to say it's like $29.95, and then there's an extra $10 for the tracked utility. So $39.95, so $40 a month. Here's the good news, a couple things. Number one, don't go over and sign up right now, because I'm going to give you a code that you can use to waive the sign-up fee. They have a pretty hefty sign-up fee, and with the code that I give you, you can waive that fee. I've made arrangements with them because I told them about my video and about all the people who contact me and said, guys, if I'm going to help promote this, you at the very least have to be able to waive the sign-up fee for them. And so they're going to do that for you, and it's a month-to-month. So it's, honestly, you could go in and just say, hey, let me go find my tracks that I want to farm, and then, cancel your subscription. If that's what you want to do, I'm going to show you some reasons why you might not want to do that. But it's totally up to you. I know lots of people are on budgets and things like that. So let's look at the tracked utility and how this works. But hang on, because I'm going to give you a code. And actually, I think I'm just going to go ahead and throw it up on the screen right now. If you go use this code to register, and you'll waive that sign-up fee. So save you a lot of money there. So we go in here, and when you sign up, you're gonna be given, you pick what county you're in. I'm in Orange County, California, and so that's what I have. There's these other searches and things like here. I'm not going to go into those. They have great training on how to use this software when you sign up. But I'm going to go into Find Tracked. I'm not going to put anything in it, and it pops up this little window and it says, okay, where do you want to look? And let's say that I decide, I'm going to pick a big city so that I can really, demonstrate it. Santa Ana is a pretty big city here. So, RPQRS, okay, yes, I know my alphabet, okay. And so I could do it by city, or I could do it by zip code, okay. And then over here I can put in the number of units. And what that means is the number of units in the tract. And so it depends. If you're doing single families, or you're doing condos, or you don't care, then just leave that blank, because single family tracts are going to have anywhere from 5 to maybe 30 or something like that. In our area, your area might be different, I don't know, but here that's what it's going to be. But there's no real reason to set a minimum and maximum unless you're doing just condominiums, and you say, you know what, I only want condominiums that have more than 100 units in it, because if it doesn't have 100 units in it, it's not worth my time to put that into my focused marketing effort. So average sales price, you could do that. I only want to work with in areas where the average sales price is over $300,000, and then turnover rates. Only show me things that have a and my suggestion is in a low inventory market, man, if you could find something that has a good 5, 6, 7% turnover rate, that's probably good. Otherwise, try to shoot for 10 or more. A huge turnover, because that you want to be where the action is, right? But I don't even put anything in there because we're trying to find a tract right now. I just want to see where I'm going to start. Non-owner occupieds, I could do that. That's actually kind of can be a cool marketing tool. So let's say you have a great marketing campaign for investors, and you want to find an area that, man, there's 50% or more owner or non-owner occupieds, because they got to sell. And how do they pick agents in the area? Man, they randomly pick whoever's mail they get, I bet, because they don't know people here per se. Average turnover by years. So again, percentage of turnover rate, and there's a percentage of turnover rate over here. I'll be honest with you, don't know what that means. Average turnover by years, not sure. Days on market, but I'm going to leave it blank. And I'm going to do, I like to just start out with condos, because it's real easy to see how effective this tool can be when you're looking at that. Now over here, I can do omit where an agent has more than one sale of the sales listed. And the reason is because we talked about market share. I want to make sure that if I go into a condo complex and that's my market and I'm targeting those guys, suddenly I'm not going to find myself in a situation where, I've got, Joe the condo king, and he's got a 50% market share. Not that you couldn't compete with him, but boy, that's going to be a tougher battle to fight. But I don't worry about that, because I actually go into the MLS after the fact and search in the MLS to find out what's going on there. Or I could just omit, areas where certain brokerages have more than one sale. Don't worry about that. I just select property type, and I say, okay, let's submit. And they got their little ads that always pop up on here. And so now what you see here, there's this big cluster right there. It gives you the top 100 results. Okay, and so I'm just going to kind of zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see. Okay, so in Anaheim, Santa Ana, there's a lot of condos here, and it's going to put it, generally speaking, in turnover rate order. Now you can click on the columns, and it will sort by those columns. But look at this right here. This is, and you got to be careful when you're looking at this. You got to take your time to evaluate them, really. But this says a 25.9% turnover. There's 27 units. And there were 7 sales in the last year for $387,000. Might not be bad to go explore that one, because if you got a 25% turnover, wow, what's happening there? Now that could also be a bad sign, and maybe something you don't want to get involved in. Maybe there's lawsuits or something like that happening. So worth doing the research. But I'm going to kind of look for some of the bigger complexes. Because there's, good turnover in these, but, it still is, a little bit questionable on some of those. So let's look at this one here. Look, 11.8% turnover, higher than 10%. That's awesome. 144 homes. I can farm to an area that has 144 homes. With my marketing efforts, direct mail, even door hangers, whatever, I can do that. And this means that there's 2 active right now, and there have been 16 homes that have sold in the recent past. So let's go take a look at that particular complex. And some information that it gives here, it'll show you, okay, it'll give you a high and a low for bedrooms. So the high is 3 bedroom, low is 2 bath. 3 bedroom high, 2 bedroom low. 2 bedroom high, 1 bedroom low. Okay, so year built 1977. And they're about on the higher end, 1,134 square feet. You got some look like little studios at 590. Median is 882. And this is interesting. So you got a year-owned median of 10.1 years. So if you take all the homes that have sold and you go to the middle one over the last year, that person owned that home for 10.1 years. So half of them owned it for more and half of them owned it for less. If you take the year-owned average and you say 10.9 years, what this means is that for the entire tract, 10.9 years is when people usually sell. So in other words, this is, pretty primed to pop right here. So really good information, and you can scroll down and you can click on, on anybody's contact information, and it will give you their, some of the details: 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1130. All the description info there. If it's listed, it will give you stuff. It also gives you these little icons over here to tell you can add this to a farm and whatnot. Now, something that's kind of cool is if I go over here to control info, it's going to tell me that there's of the pending sales. There's one agent. His name's Grant. He's the broker as well. Let's look at the active market. So there's one. There's Andro and Eric Figueroa, the broker names. Okay, so in other words, no real competition right now. And then if you go over into the sold market, it's only listing 2 of them for some reason, but because I thought it said there were 7 solds. But you go in here again, and the point is that now you see that there's no competition in this complex. Nobody has a dominant market share. No names are the same. If somebody was really dominant, they would have, for the listings, this guy would have 2 here, and he'd have, 3 here. It would be his name, right? But that's not the case. So, so that's important to know. So this is probably a good complex to begin to farm to. And so then what you can do also is you can save the farm. I'm going to show you something else here in just a second, where you can save this farm and you can track this farm using some of the other tools I'm going to show you. So if I go to statistics, I click on that, it's going to give me some stuff. High is 262, low is 131, average, and all that stuff. Active pending sold. So, you can see there's activity going on in there. Good thing, good way to identify a great neighborhood. You could do the same thing with single family. So, I could go up and modify this and say, on tract, we did Santa Ana. And I can put in just single family residence, because condos are easy, right? That we can figure those out all day long. And property, say submit. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this, it pops up and it shows all over the place. Again, clicking on turnover rate. I want to see where the big turnovers are. That was funny. The low turnover rate for the entire area is 6%. That's pretty cool. Okay, so 9.8% turnover, in these tracks over here that it's showing. So same information is available, and in the $400,000 price range. Hey, that seems a little nicer. But again, it's only 4 sales over 51 units. One thing that I like to make sure people understand too is, okay, so if I go to this track and I look at it and I go, oh look, okay, there's 4 sales, 51 units. You have to manually go in and search the surrounding tracks too, because if the surrounding tracks, if there's 4 sales and 51 units here, there may be other sales around this area that you might be missing out on if you don't go in and manually search those. So Okay, a couple other things I want to show you really quick. I know this video is getting way too long, but I think it's important, and I'm glad that I'm doing this for you guys because I want to make sure you're finding the right areas to farm. If we go into leads and farms, it's taking just a second. Now, what I can do is I can search for different lead types that I want to collect. So first of all, I can track my farms. I upload my farms, I can track them, and I can search by divorces, by expireds, by FSBOs. Just listed, just sold, that's more for maybe an escrow company or a termite company is trying to get business from an agent. Just sold, non-MLS, that's actually a cool one. I'm gonna touch on each of these. NOD, and notice of sale, probates, yes, love probates. Tax defaults. So let's look at, let's start here. So first of all, I can set my farm and I can say, anytime a new probate comes up or a divorce or an expired or a FSBO, make sure I know about it immediately. And this would be the reason why I would want to keep the program ongoing, because it will alert you to let you know when those new sales or when those new prospective clients are up. So let's look at divorce here. I go in here and I say, but let's say, so in all of Orange County, let's go back to the beginning of the month. So in the beginning of the month, there have been 57 divorce filings over the last few weeks. 57. Now that's sad, but it's a fact of the matter. All 12 days. 57 over the last 12 days. And why are these good leads? Well, obviously somebody's going to sell. Now look at here. This is a non-owner occupant. So if it's a non-owner occupant, you're darn sure that thing's going to sell, because honey's not letting other honey keep that one. That one is getting sold. Okay. Scrolling down the list, yeah, again, more non-owner occupant, investment properties, things like that. Now, excuse me, you don't want to go and say, hey, boy, I heard you're getting a divorce. That probably wouldn't be good, especially if they haven't even been served papers yet, because you might know about it before they do. It's kind of freaky, but that's the age we live in, okay? There's training on Rebo Gateway of how to specifically handle divorce leads. They're a little bit more, longer cultivation time, and that's okay. Just work with it. Expireds, let's look at, expireds in the last week. Out of that's interesting. 57 expireds also. Find that coincidental, but just to double check, I'm gonna click on that. I know these ads are annoying, but yeah, 162 in the last 12 days in Orange County. If you're looking for a way to track expireds and stay on top of those, man, this is the deal. FSBOs, I used to market FSBOs a lot, but haven't done it a whole lot in the last couple of years. But I'm thinking about it again, because I go in here just in the last 12 days. There's 37 people who have listed their houses are for sale by owner. Wow. Now, we don't have to worry about, well, how do we know they're FSBO and all that stuff? Rebo Gateway spent a lot of time and energy to develop the tool to, give us the best possible list of leads, but, nothing's ever foolproof. Okay, just listed, just sold. Yeah, again, that's kind of more for if you're a service provider trying to get business from real estate agents, then you could keep, or they would keep track of that, so they can reach out to you and say, hey, congratulations on your new listing. Just sold non-MLS. Now, this is actually a cool one to track, because I'll tell you what I do. if a home sells in my area that is not sold through the MLS, I find out who the new homeowner is and immediately put them on my 10-year past client follow-up plan. The reason I do that is because no other agent represented them. Maybe they made a deal. Maybe it was a inter-family thing. Maybe it was a FSBO. Maybe it was a variety of reasons why they came into owning that property. But over the years, as they get my marketing material, I'm the guy in their mind that sold them the house. And I've had it happen several times where people call me up and go, "Hey, yeah, we've been here for about 6 years now, and it's time to sell. And since you helped us buy the house, then would you help us sell the house too?" And I just laugh at myself because I know I didn't help them buy the house. But no other agent is following up with them. Think about that, okay? Notice of default, obviously we know about that. We know about notice of sale. Probates, this is cool. So let's look at probates. Again, I just like to go back to the beginning of the month. In Orange County. Oh, interesting. Huh. Okay, let's go back a little bit farther. Okay, so in Orange County, so over the last, month and 12 days, 81 probates have been filed. 81 probates have been filed. So, good market to go after. That's a really good market. And, if you want to just stay up on those all day long, that's a good source of business right there. Because, 7 out of 10 times that house is getting sold, and they're usually pretty good, easy sale too. Tax defaults, honestly haven't even really looked into that, but let's see. Let's search tax defaults. Oh, selected boundary. Okay, well, I'm not going to do that now. Anyways, this has gone way long enough, so I hope that this has actually provided you with some value, and you have the code for getting your sign-up fee waived if you take advantage of Rewo Gateway, and you can continue to use that code over and over. So like I said, if you sign up, you get the information you want, and then 4 months down the line you go, okay, now I need to relook at farm areas again. Use that code again. Hopefully this is helpful to you guys. If you have questions or anything, just comment, and I'll try to get back to you as quick as I can. And in just a second here, you'll see a little thing pop up that'll give you a link to go watch the other video as well, if you like. So there you go. Take care, guys. We'll talk to you really soon. Have a great day.